And welcome everyone to our Twitter space here at LBank. I'm your host Muha, and today with us we have Kas Project. Today for them is going to speak Bubblegum Lightning. He's their PR manager, and we hope to educate some users on Kas and see what is coming and what has been done. Bubblegum, can you hear me? Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. How are you? And are you ready?
I am ready. It's early in the morning here. The weather is gonna looks like it's gonna be a pretty nice day out. So doing better now.
Amazing, amazing. So you are ready for the chat. I mean, yeah, it's early in the morning and we take few coffee sips and we're ready to talk about the crypto and an amazing project that you have here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, sorry.
uh no worries, no worries. I would like you to introduce yourself, what you do at CAS, and basically say a few words about CAS, like an intro of it.
Okay. So hi, my name is Bubblegum Lightning. That's my avatar. My real name's Nathaniel Crowning Shield. I write the Medium articles and the Kaspa News articles, also the articles that you see on CoinMarketCap. Those are all written by me. I'm one of the PR managers, and when I say I'm a PR manager, this is like self-proclaimed. Caspa doesn't really have an entity; it just is like Bitcoin. It's just a currency, and we have a community that kind of rallies around Caspa as a currency. Um, Caspa is the fastest open source, fully decentralized proof of work blockchain, which is actually not even a chain; it's a block DAG in the world. So it's the fastest one in the world. It's the world's first block DAG, which is a we'll get into that later, but it's essentially a web of blocks. And yeah, hopefully, the ultimate use case for Caspa is to be the currency used for everyday transactions. So we want to replace fiat or any kind of currency that is used for everyday transactions. We want to replace that with Caspa.
Wonderful, man. Thank you for that one. And I have few questions for you from our users, and I would like you to ask you. And the first one is gonna be, how is the development team behind the Cast Coin working to improve the platform and attract new users? We know that you have a lot of users, but how do you work on that, and where you want to attract the new users, and what upcoming milestones should you investors be looking out for the cast?
Okay, so the milestones kind of tie in with how we attract new users. Like what most people say in crypto is we're in it for the tech, and with Casper we really are. It's the cutting edge tech that really draws people in. So currently, right now, we just underwent a Rust redesign, and Rust is a programming language. Casper was originally written in Golang, and it was kind of an inefficient language, but I think it was a nice language to start a base on. But we soon discovered that if we redesigned it and rewrote it into Rust, we could boost speeds of the network performance like up to 30%, or sorry, 30 times the speed of Golang. So we're in alpha now. We're testing with that. When that actually goes full release, we should have that, about 30 times speed, and we'll be separated from the old Golang network. So now that Rust is here and we're testing for it, we could technically start smart contracts in layer two at any time. So whenever talks past the brainstorming happen for that, we can start incorporating smart contracts in layer two. Right now, we're in the brainstorming phase, so they're working on what language they want to use and how they want to do this. And with smart contracts in layer two, that's going to attract a lot of DeFi, DApp, any kind of finance transaction stuff that people are interested into. That's going to pull people in. After Rust is rolled out, we're going to have Dagnite, which is a new protocol. It's going to make Caspa the very first parameterless protocol. And what that means is it's going to self address to network latency and network health. So the faster the network is, the faster Dagnite is going to make Caspa run. And the slower the network is, the slower Caspa will adjust to, but it'll still be maximized. So if it goes down, we're going to still have the maximum that we could put through that network Sorry, my computer just fell asleep. Okay. And then
No
next,
worries.
yeah, it just like died on me. Um, and then we're looking for merchant tools. We're recruiting merchants and devs, and we're actually starting an ambassador program that we just had a successful crowdfund for. We had a marketing crowdfund, and along with that, there came a community marketing fund, which is kind of like a dev fund. And with this marketing fund, we are continuously reaching out through organic and grassroots means.
So there's a lot of milestones coming to cast, right? We can
Oh,
say
so
that. Of course. You mentioned the speed, and I think personally the people people are coming to crypto because of the speed. But we see the Kaspa is one of the fastest project here. We can say that. Well, what about your security? How do you manage to be such a secure project and be one of the fastest one?
so a lot of that work comes from the block tag. So we can get into the block tag a little bit. Uh, the so essentially it's hard to describe it, but you can go to the KGI Caspa visualizer to see it in action. So what happens is we have a normal chain of blocks. It's just like let's picture it as just a singular line of blocks. At any point, we could have another block created simultaneously or in parallel. And typically, with a blockchain like Bitcoin, that would be what's called an orphan block. Well, that orphan block doesn't go away now after like wasted computed resources, and usually it'll be invalid and just be tossed aside. Well, now it doesn't go away. We keep it. We actually incorporate it. And how that happens is when we make this other block, we will have like the tips connect from the other block. So the next block over will actually kind of connect to both. Now this is really oversimplifying it, but when you see it in the KGI visualizer, you'll see it open up to multiple blocks and then come back down to like one block and then two and then three and then come back down. And it'll do this kind of like breathing motion. With this, we're cutting off the orphan, so we are not going to have like any of those rogue chains that could potentially form. Also, with the block tag, it'll protect against certain attacks. It just need to be way more sophisticated in their attack. So, like, we actually had a workshop last night, and there was something called a ladder attack. With the way this block tag is, when it actually goes back down to zero width or just like one block across the chain, that time it actually kind of resets their ladder attack, and that prevents them from continuing. Also, we can boost the speed with this. So now that we can allow multiple blocks in a row in like one wall of blocks, we're gonna like outrun a lot of attackers. So like stuff like front running attacks just can't keep up. And along with the Ghost Ag protocol, we're protected up against 51% attacks. So it's probably one of the safest chains I would say out there right now with this dagger blocks. Now there is other dags out there that exist, but they're usually in regards to transactions and not blocks. But in this case with Caspa, it is blocks that are in the formation of a dag.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I somewhere read that your project was, I mean, you discovered it like you need a time of 8 years, so you're pretty much old in the cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah, so the founder, Jonathan Sampolinski, he is, oh man, when you say he's a crypto OG, it's an understatement. Like if there was one guy out there that had all the crypto experience and knowledge, it's probably Jonathan. So he's been in since like the Bitcoin times and has been cited in so many projects since, starting with Ethereum all the way up. I think he's been cited in like Ethereum, Avalanche, AVAX, I think Algorand, and a bunch more. It's kind of pointless to list them all because we'll be here all day. But you can look up his citations on Google Scholar. He's been here forever. And then we have Michael Sutton, which is just like a genius programmer. He actually helped, he co wrote Dagnite with Jonathan, and that's the next protocol we're going to be putting out. And GhostDag, which is what we're running on now, was actually co authored by Zohar Sampolinski and Shai Desh, who is a quantum computing researcher that we still have on board.
So Jonathan, basically in 2013, he was on the Ghost protocol inside an Ethereum white paper, right?
Correct.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, he is one of the veterans in crypto industry. Did he ever? I mean, do you know the story behind the Casper? I mean, I think the over 200, 700 people. Oh my god, 700 people right now in the live. Pardon me. They want to know the story behind the Casper. How did your company came up with it? Is it because the other cryptocurrency was a bit slower, not secure?
Well, I could give you, I mean, I don't know the precise history, but I could give you the overall concept and why Caspa came about. First off, so Caspa isn't an identity. There is no company, there's no team. It's just contributing developers that create and build this project, and it's all open source. It's open to public. So what Caspa is it's really it's addressing the shortcomings of Bitcoin. So Bitcoin started actually kind of the topic of it is putting the crypto or putting the currency back in the crypto. So uh, Bitcoin started as like a trustless, stateless currency. So we wanted this digital currency that's going to serve as a currency. But the problem with Bitcoin is it's got 10-minute confirmation times, and that is just too long for normal everyday transactions. It's great and functions well as you send like a large transaction. Like that's not too slow if you're sending like $1 million. Like we want to make sure it safely gets to the destination, and we'll wait a little while extra to make sure that happens. But if we want to go through a drive-through and buy a coffee with Bitcoin, we're going to be sitting in this drive-through for 10 minutes, waiting for a cup of coffee while the line's built. So Caspa really came from the promise and what we actually entered into cryptocurrency, what the original mission was. We came in to be a currency at first, and now Caspa's resetting that and going back to the original use case of being a currency. So Caspa is actually ancient Aramaic for silver. It actually means silver. And it's kind of cool. Silver in history was always used for transactions, for like the everyday transaction. So for the value of the quantity of transactions, silver was far more valuable as a money to be used than gold ever was, because gold was usually used for those big bulk transactions. Let's say you had a big land sale or whatever, and you sent a chest of gold. That would work, but with silver, you can go out and go to the market and buy whatever all the time as fast as you want, and you don't have to carry like a ton of it. So traditionally, it was the transaction precious metal.
Thank you for that one. And the project by itself is a community one, right? We can say that.
Yes. Yep.
So, how would you describe your community in a couple of words? I will not much take your time, but how will you describe your amazing community?
Very energetic, really fun, and it's cool community because usually when you hop into a community, you can get into these like segments where you kind of feel like where all the communities focused. If you go into Caspa, it is like evenly spread everywhere. You can have a conversation about anything with anybody. You'll find a channel to relate to. It's amazing. This community is like all inclusive. So they want everybody. So no matter if you are just a trader, you're a dev, you just like the technology, you just like math, if you're a moon boy or if you're a holder, whatever you are or whatever you apply yourself to in the crypto space, you can find people that you can relate to within this community. And a lot of them are very much energetic and self starting. So, I mean, if they're not already contributing to the project in some way, shape, or form, like content wise or development wise, they definitely are in the social and troubleshooting parts. So that, I mean, everybody's there and helps with support.
Wonderful. You hear it here. I mean, a lot of people are live on the space, and hopefully they can just go follow you and follow Caspa and join your community, of course.
Absolutely.
So great. So we talked about the security, we talked about the history. I just want to talk about the partnership right now. Uh, so, what kind of partnership did you form on the plan to form to increase awareness and adoption of this project? And how does this partnership fit in your overall marketing strategy?
Are you talking about the partnership with LBank?
Yes.
Okay. So when it comes to Casper, you can't really partner with it. We'll use partner very loosely here because, like I said, it doesn't have an entity. It's like saying that you're partnering with the dollar or you're partnering with Bitcoin. You really can't. There's no controlling body. It just is. However, with the LBank listing, we're doing this here with I'm a community contributor, so we're collaborating to kind of market Caspo. We're kind of doing this on our own ambition to promote Caspo. We're showing how amazing this technology is. So as a community contributor, I'm here to help you educate the people and show the onboarding with this. What's amazing with any exchange, though, is in order for us to be a successful currency, we want to be all inclusive and we want full on adoption. Like we need adoption like no tomorrow. And the best way to get adoption is to offer sources where people can uh, either buy or obtain Caspa. And the best way to do that right now is through through like an exchange like LBank. So LBank, I'm sure, has a major group of loyal users, and that's going to expose Caspa to them, and we're doing it now through this AMA. So that's going to be more potential to distribute and decentralize Caspa and get more adoption and inclusion. And on the opposite end of that, we're bringing Caspa uh, community over to LBank, and we're exposing them to LBank, showing hey, there's a new option for Caspa to obtain. These guys are pretty solid, and we're having a sweet AMA, so come check them out. Um, and yeah, so I mean, in the end of the day, no matter what crypto or exchange you are, we want adoption. We want to get, we want crypto to run the world. I mean, fiat's kind of at its time, and it's beyond inefficient. So why don't we move on to something more efficient that makes sense?
Yeah, we are all on the same page. We want crypto to be mainstream and be the one currency that we all use, right?
Yep.
Perfect. So we talked about the cast, we talked about everything. I need to ask you about the basic question that we have here is, can you list 1 to 3 killer features of your project that makes it ahead of its competitors? What is the advantage your platform has you feel most confident about?
I'll try to keep it three. We have a lot. So, uh,
It doesn't need to be three. I mean, if you can talk about 10 or more, it doesn't matter.
all right, sounds good. So the number one thing like this stands out is we're open source, proof of work, and we are the fastest crypto out there. We have the block DAG, so the network speed, instant confirmations really set us bar none, way beyond most. Because a lot of places have these use cases that are nice, they're neat, they'll apply to some aspect, or they'll use some computing power that wasn't being dedicated right, so they will use it to other things. Well, we're not doing any use case but currency. So, I mean, we have like instant confirmations where it's like a sub-second. We have fully confirmed transactions around the 10-second average. Super cheap fees. I mean, it costs nothing to transact with Caspa. And we're just looking to be that practical, everyday, promising digital currency that you just use all the time. We also have Dagnite, which is going to promise some serious longevity because as the network health gets better, like I said, Dagnite is going to make us parameterless. As the network health gets better and the latency gets quicker or faster, however you want to word latency, the better it is, the better and faster Caspo will also run. So as time moves on and the network gets better, Caspa also will. So we have that longevity to the chain. Also, Caspa is kind of frameworked and structured to accommodate layer 2 and smart contracts, although we don't have like a set roadmap. We are in the brainstorming phase, like I said, but that's going to be coming as well. And I know smart contracts and layer 2 are very important to people. I would say development probably will start this year, maybe. Everything's, got wiggle room and room for interpretation. And of course, the number, besides speed, the number one thing is the community. The community is just amazing, like bar none. I've been in a lot of crypto communities, and this is probably one of the best. Community is what makes everything happen between crowd funds, organic grassroots marketing, involvement, you name it.
I totally agree with you on that one. And some projects suffer from the problem of blockchain trilemma, decentralization, scalability, pardon me, and security. What approach did you apply to offer solution to this problem?
So we actually solved it. Really, we just straight out we solved the blockchain trilemma. So with GhostDAG, we have solved the decentralization by incorporating parallel blocks, um, promoting more active participation in the network, reducing the chances of centralization. We have solo mining, mining distribution, and the fair launch that we started with started us off on the bang on being decentralized. We didn't have any VCs pre-mine or pre-sale. The ghost-based consensus also gives us the heaviest chain rule. It's pretty much a generalized Nakamoto consensus, so we still strive for that 51% attack safetiness. We protect ourselves from front running attacks, liveliness attacks, double spend attacks. All that stuff's protected with the block tag and ghost tag. And again, the block tag is the chain, so to speak, and ghost tag is the protocol. So it's it can kind of be confusing. And DAG stands for directed acyclic graph. So that's just the formation of our chain. And then as far as scalability goes, it goes back to the DAG structure again. We can adjust speeds as needed, and when that goes parameterless, we're going to be either flying or slowing down accordingly. We're reducing transaction fees and fast speeds, or we have fast speeds in the network, and it's just usable for everyday transactions. The only thing that actually limits Kaspa is hardware and network right now. And so far, once Dagnag comes out, network's not even going to be a factor. So we don't make sacrifices to decentralization, security, or scalability. They're all there. The only thing that's really bottlenecking us right now is the network and hardware gets cheaper with time. And I mean, all of it's sustainable and manageable as is.
Perfect. Thank you for that one. And before you answer the question, you see the some user just write on the comments saying solve the trilemma. So it's important that all of the listeners did listen
Yeah.
and they get get to know your project. So we are currently in the bear market, and how the Caspa sees that? Did they do you see the bull market is coming closer or?
So I'm going to be really vague on this one, just because I don't do price talk most of the time. What I can say though is we were kind of born in the bear market and we're kind of thriving in it. If you look at the chart, we've been in the bear market just about the whole time, and Caspa is really, really outperforming, a good chunk of the market. So, I mean, that you'll have to be a good or the best judge for yourself. As far as if the bull market is coming, who knows, man? It's crypto, right?
Yeah, we cannot see anything what's coming basically. So yeah, so everyone heard about the cast and that you guys are born in the bear market and that you're striving, and that says a lot about the project because not a lot of them are scaling up in the bear market. um, Before we end, I just want to ask you about upcoming partnership, upcoming news coming to Caspa. What would you like to announce if you
Oh,
can share no secret?
yeah, right. So, well, we have LBank. So that's huge today. This talks about that. So we just listed with LBank. We actually listed. Well, we have like four in the works right now that is either listed or is going to be listing. One thing I did really want to talk about though is we're really trying to get more involved in academia. Um, we have started talking with United Blockchain Alliance, trying to figure out ways to assist them in their mission and their DAO throughout the colleges throughout the world. They have like some serious numbers that cover globally with their DAO. We're trying to do an event with them where the local campus and all the shops are going to run on crypto. And we're really trying to get them to use Caspa to do this. And that's going to be a really exciting time to actually see what we've been striving for come to fruition and actually like be used for everyday life transactions. The day that I can pay for gas at the pump with Caspa is just going to be amazing. Um,
And we
so
hope that the gas prices be down when we can
yeah,
we're gonna get.
or maybe we'll be running on chain by then. Who knows? But yeah, so I mean, there is some news on smart contracts potentially having some ideas. There's some people talking about starting development on it. Nothing is concrete or solid, and yeah, so we did just have the workshop with Shy yesterday. That is going to be uploaded to YouTube if you guys want a deep dive. I mean, if you're not a mathematician, it's a deep dive. It was a deep dive for me. So if you want to learn about the inner workings of it and get into the math of it, he actually covers Ghost DAG and pruning mechanisms like amazing, and we even touched a bit of DAG Night. But it was really great watch, and that's going to be on YouTube here, in the near future.
Wonderful, and I just saw some comments saying like Caspa has grown over 400% in the last 100 days. So that's great. I mean, that's talking about the project is here to stay, right?
Oh yeah. So I mean, these guys are obviously looking at the tech.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I just want to thank you in the name of the LBank for coming on the Twitter space, and I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully, we will have some more spaces talking about scalability, security, and fast security networks. So once again, I just want to thank you for coming in. I just want to thank Kaspa Community and LBank Community, and hopefully we will have much more spaces. Just go follow Bubblite and follow Kaspa.
Awesome, man. I want to thank you too. Thanks for taking the time and having me. Love chatting about Caspa. So anytime you want to do it in the future, let me know.
Of
Take.
course, I will. I will. Thank you once again.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Keep trading an LBank and just go and follow Cas. Goodbye, everyone.